All right, go.
I'm rocking with Don Kilam.
Let's go. Mic check. Can y'all hear me? I'm recording, y'all. This is y'all see me? Got the cameras out. Yeah, I'm about to draw some game. Peace and love, peace and love. Is the mic clear? Because this is my audio. I have to double check my cameras. Y'all can hear me, the audio crystal clear. Smoking on, Runts is my favorite strain, by the way. I was smoking on some candy Runts. I had 3 different ounces delivered of different types of Runts. Fire. Got the Gucci shades on. We working, always. I'm about to start on some of these IDs before I kick it on my kids this weekend, and then I'll get them out next week. I guess no breaks, but I'm starting to learn to love it. I'm learning. Let me know in the chat that you can hear me crystal clear. Does it sound like I'm mic'd up? I got the mic right there. I guess I could check it myself. I checked it before I hopped on there. Let me see. I'll be dropping a lot of bread on podcasts. So I'm learning how to do my own when I travel.
Recording in progress.
Oops. Mic check. That didn't work, did it? Hey, just let me get some trees. It's all good. But my notes in that phone. Y'all say I'm good, then I'm good. Well, peace and love. Let me know where y'all tapped in and tuned in from before I get started. We got Houston in the building, Philly in the building. I'm in LA right now. We got the 602 in the building. Southern California in the building. Nebraska. Damn. Shout out to Nebraska, all the way out there in the sticks. All the way out there in the stickity sticks. I'm cool in Nebraska. Okay. Let me get some water. Then we getting started. Well, I done grabbed the sparkling water. I don't drink that shit. But we gonna drink it today. One, two, three, sync. That's for my camera guy. Peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy, Don Kilam, also known as Malik Kilam. As always, prosperity is your divine birthright. Excuse me. Let me start that over. Peace and love, world. Peace and love. It's your boy, Don Kilam. You're tuned into a great episode of The Private Cast. I got some great news that you can use for you today. I like to strip away the illusions of your public education because that's what it is. It's illusions. I'm breaking away what you think you thought you knew so you can truly learn how to live a private life, okay? The private life. That's what I teach. So let's get straight to the foundation. Let's get straight to it. Because the Matrix has people completely in the blind, twisted with the thinking. They're believing that you need permission to exist. They have you thinking that you need permission to exist. That is crazy. They have you thinking you need permission to do business, to barter and trade with one another, with our tribal members, with our family members, with our spiritual community. They want to tax it. They make you think you need permission to protect your own bloodline. When you hear the words family law in the public sphere, family law, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word family law? Most people think child support. And child support court and family law is two different things. Family court and child support court is two different things. Some people think of divorce court when they hear family court, all right, or custody battles. But regardless, it's corporate attorneys draining your hard-earned assets. That's what it's all about when you hear the word family court. But I need you to understand the historical true definition that family law is private law. Family law is private law. And my great analogy, check out the pinky ring. Check out the pinky ring. Shout out to the family. VVS Diamonds on the pinky. But look, starting off with the so-called United States Corporation, we're going to call it a corporation, 28 U.S.C. 2002, subsection 15A. Again, 28 U.S.C. 2002, subsection 15A. The United States is a federal corporation, but the so-called founding fathers created this corporation, correct? But these are private families protecting their own private interests.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Peace and love, it's your boy Don Kilam, and welcome to Dream Keepers Radio, that private life podcast. You're here, tuned in with your boy, and this is brought to you by Follow the Yellow Brick Road by Don Kilam. Search the book on Amazon now. Go get the book and uncover the matrix and how the United States is operating in the financial marketplace. Much peace and love. And I hope that makes sense for everybody. I hope that it truly makes sense. So, family law is truly private law. And when you look at the origin, why were trusts created in the first place? They weren't created so Wall Street executives could hide corporate kickbacks. Okay? They were created to protect the family. They were created to protect the family. Centuries ago, when somebody wanted to be private, a sovereign, a patriarch, or a provider went off to war or traveled across the world to trade, they needed an airtight vehicle. An airtight vehicle to ensure that their land, their wealth, their bloodline were protected from outside raiders, corrupt kings, and bandits. So today, the raiders just wear suits, carry briefcases, and file lawsuits against you. Okay? We must operate under a fundamental principle that the wealthiest lineages on earth have utilized for centuries. Family is business, and business is family. You cannot separate the two if you want your legacy to survive. If you treat your family like a casual public hobby, the public grid will dismantle it. You have to run your family with the structure, discipline, and absolute protection of a private enterprise. Everyone listening to my voice right now should be using a family business trust for their family. No exceptions. A family business trust, okay? Learn how to operate, they call it autonomy. The autonomy of a private trust versus the public system versus the Social Security number, using the Social Security number in the public realm. The actual mechanics of a private trust, first and foremost, a trust is a distinct entity, separate from a natural person. It is its own jurisdiction person. A trust can do everything a person can do besides vote. So it's an independent holding vessel. Now, if you step out into the public sphere, into the public matrix, the statutory world, there are literally over 100 types of trusts. You've got revocable living trust, then you got irrevocable trust. You got land trust, you got blind trust. It's an absolute maze designed to keep you paying perpetual legal fees to the public system. Truthfully. Can I get an amen if you hear me, if you're feeling me right now in the congregation? So we don't operate in their maze. We operate from a private family business trust. People constantly call the private lifeline 702-200-4900. And they're like, Don, I need you to register the trust with Secretary of State. Do I need a state license or LLC filing? So with the private trust, you don't need any of that, okay? It's private. You do not need permission. Why would you register a private sovereign family contract with a public corporate state? Does that make sense? So the very top of the pyramid is always private. It's forms versus substance. Substance versus form. You understand? So the substance creates the forms, and you create the private, which creates the public. The public was created by the private. You have to understand that. Now, when you look at the supreme law of the land, Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution, it explicitly states no state shall pass any law impairing the obligation of contracts. All a trust is a private contract, and no state shall pass any law impairing the obligations of the contract as long as it's not harming nobody and you're not committing any crimes, okay? Which is damaging property and harming people. So the state nor the government cannot interfere with your private family business trust, your private family contracts. So let that sink in. Who created the Bill of Rights? Who created the Constitution? Private families did. Let that sink in. Now, the creators are always superior to the creation. So the families created the state, so the state has zero authority to dictate the private terms of a family private contract. I'm going to state that one more time, okay? For everybody that didn't get that in the back. So, who created the Constitution? Who created the Bill of Rights? Families did. The creators are always superior to the creation. The creators are always superior to the creation. The creators are always superior to the creation. The families created the state. The families created the state. The families created the state. Who created the state? Families created the state. So the state has zero authority to dictate the private terms of a private family trust or a private family contract. Private law has been heavily codified over the years and turned into legislation, statutory acts. But you have a fundamental, unalienable right to contract privately. It has never been taken away, ever. They can't take it away. They just make you forget you have it. If you choose to register everything under public statutes, you are consenting to their jurisdiction. But when you establish a private family business trust, you are standing on your constitutional private right to contract. No state can impair that obligation. I hope that makes sense, everybody. Let me know if it makes sense. So yes, it does. Fire emojis, something, okay? Because that's game right there. When you understand that, I don't know what's going on outside, but we ain't living that private life, okay? All I hear is sirens, okay? I swear I'm on Beverly Hills, so it's crazy. You usually don't hear that. So when you're talking about your daily operations, because this is real trustee training right here, okay? Your daily operations. This is where the real shift happens, okay? Trusteeship is learning how to make the family trust do what you used to do. So people are dangerously addicted to ownership. I say it's dangerous because ownership means liability and obligation. They want their legal name plastered on the deed. They want their name on the car title. They want their name on the bank account. That is pure ego. And in the legal world, it is a massive liability. Massive. In the private sector, our motto is simple. Own nothing, control everything. Holla if you hear me. Holla if you hear me. Own nothing, control everything. This is not even my ring. I'm leasing it from the jewelry company. You understand? I'm leasing it from the jewelry company. I'm leasing Don Kilam from the ministry. I paid for his presence. You understand? Own nothing, control everything. Who is I? I'm not Don Kilam. You understand? Don Kilam is an LLC. I had to pay for the LLC. I got a booking. Did I lose you? Did I lose you? This is wardrobe for Don Kilam. I don't pay for clothes. First, I don't know if y'all can see it. Y'all see the Air Forces? Oh, pearly white. So when you step into the role of a trustee, you take on a fiduciary duty. It's a professional job. You are managing the property of the trust for the absolute benefit of the beneficiaries. So when you're stepping into the trustee role, it's you got to protect the beneficiaries. That's just what it is. And my beneficiary is always going to be a private ministry or a nonprofit. I hand down everything in endowments. And that's what, and I broke down, if y'all got to watch the replay, I broke down fringe benefits and stipends as well. This comes from my nonprofit, my unincorporated associations. So I think some people are still confused because I just listen to people. I like it. I like it when I meet with you because I can kind of see where y'all at. So a lot of people were still confused with the unincorporated association because I got this other trust in play. I need y'all to understand the unincorporated association is a private contract. The unincorporated association is a private trust. You can call it the unincorporated business trust. That's what some people call it. The UBOT, the unincorporated business organization. Okay, I just call it simple, unincorporated association, because that's what's going to make sense for your bank if you're going to open up a bank account. Now, above that, that's where I have that non-grainer, irrevocable, complex discretionary spendthrift trust, and I keep that private. I don't bring that into the public. The only time I bring it into the public is when I do file the 1041. I hope that makes sense to everybody. And then underneath that is your holding companies, your operating companies, and the trust is going to accept that as its passive income. So you don't have to worry about tax obligations for your businesses. The trust, that's the passive income for the non-grainer trust, okay? Or even your unincorporated association can claim it. But I'm going to make sure that it's a complex trust. So when you're using your 1041, that's what we're utilizing it as. I mark 1041 complex trust. And the examples are in the school. If you was there in Vegas, you got access to the non-grainer trust. It shows you exactly how to fill out the 1041. I can't make this up. It's right there. If you already checked it, y'all let me know if I'm telling the truth, man. Cause I got the class here on the Zoom. So when you understand this, own nothing, control everything, the trustee steps and takes on a fiduciary duty. You are the government, okay? The trustee is the government. Hope that makes sense. It's a professional job. When you hear the word government, it's just administration. They're adding a minister. You're ministers for the trust. You're administering this trust. You're managing the assets for the benefit of the beneficiaries. Instead of an individual in account accumulating liability and debt, the private family business trust handles commerce. If your private family contract states that the trust is responsible for maintaining the health, education, and welfare of its members, then the trust executes that mandate. Real shit, real shit. And I showed everybody how to do that. Like how you can go into court, get rid of child support and everything by having your unincorporated association now manage the affairs of your offspring. The trust pays for family meals. The trust pays for the family housing, the clothing, the wardrobe now, the family vehicles. You got to get around, right? The children, the offspring's education. Why? Because family is business and business is family. Simple as that. The ultimate business of the trust is to take care of the family. This completely changes how wealth is transferred. In the public system, when a patriarch or matriarch passes away, the assets hit probate court. The state takes a cut, the creditors swoop in, the offsprings fight over what's left. In our private structure, the wealth gets passed on to a family charity or a private contract instead of the offspring directly. The offspring don't own the money to go blow it on liabilities, because that's usually what happens. They inherit the right to manage or benefit from the trust as trustees or beneficiaries and keeping the pool of wealth intact for generations. It becomes completely non-confiscatable. This is how we maneuver over here at DK's Private Business Circle. You dig? So, for skeptics who think that this sounds too good to be true, let's look at the landmark U.S. Supreme Court case. Y'all can look this up. Gregory versus Helvering, 293 U.S. 465, 1935. So Gregory versus Helvering, you spell Helvering, Helvering. This is a cornerstone U.S. income tax case law, all right? This landmark decision is cited as basis for two major legal doctrines: the business purpose doctrine and the doctrine of substance over form, like I was speaking on earlier. Substance over form. The Supreme Court explicitly ruled that anyone has the legal right to decrease the amount of whatever otherwise would be their taxes or altogether avoid them by means which the law permits. The highest court in the land clearly drew the line. Tax avoidance is completely legal. Tax evasion is a crime. So when you utilize a private family business trust, you aren't evading anything. The substance of your form is a legitimate private contract with a clear business purpose to manage, sustain, and protect the family asset class. You are operating entirely within your private lawful rights with a private family business trust. Gregory versus Helvering, that's game for that ass if you understand what's going on, all right? So when you look at how money actually moves between these two distinct worlds, you got the public system, which is entirely about debt. The public system is entirely about debt, inflation, and liability. Now, Federal Reserve notes are legally defined as greenbacks for the discharge of debt. Operating in your personal name within the public arena is not a protected position. Creditors, lawsuits, and tax liens can march right in and seize your assets because your personal name is tied directly to the public grid. Now, on the private side is completely different. The private is no debt. It's all credit and full faith and credit. True wealth is and always has been private. When you step into the private sector, you back your trust with tangible, real assets. We're talking about non-confiscatable wealth. Gold, silver, rhodium, platinum, true money. Because your personal name doesn't own the wealth anymore, the family trust does. You are personally, you don't have any public liabilities. They can attempt to sue you all day long, but you own nothing. You're simply a humble servant, a trustee executing a private contract. Hope this is starting to make sense for everybody. And this is what's going on. They've got you, the public system has got you under these secret private adhesion contracts. Trust law is law, okay? Contract law is real law. So once your private family business trust is structured correctly, it grows at an accelerated rate. It attracts high-level business offers and institutional loans because it operates as a clean asset-backed entity. When the trust deals with the public, it always operates via arm-length dealing. Arm-length distance, this is a trustee word. You control the vehicle, but you do not own it. Arm's-length distance. Even your daily growth becomes a tool for the trust. The trust requires highly educated administrators to perform their fiduciary duties effectively. Therefore, when the trust pays for your education, your seminars, your masterminds, and your professional books to grow the trust that operates as an educational tax credit for the entity. In research and development, tax credits for the entity. The trust is investing in its greatest asset, its management. It is a necessary administrative expense because it is completely tax-free. All of it's tax-free. You receive your taxes back on all of this. You can run back and get all your tax credits back. So this is how you truly build a passive wealth engine inside this trust. You must diversify into specific private asset classes that the public cannot touch. And these are things we utilize. Private placement accounts, real estate held via private land trusts or holding companies. We have holding companies and private insurance policies. This is going to give the trust a net worth. And I've showed everybody in the private, if you're part of my private school, I showed y'all which to start off, which insurance companies to go to, even for your business, to protect your business and even yourself as a sole proprietor. Yes, that's the game right there. You get business insurance as your name, as a sole proprietor. That way it still covers you on the business. And that's some game for you right there. That's truly invested in yourself. So since you are the primary asset running the operations, the sharp trustee ensures that this remains and continues the cycle of the trust. So the trust always has life insurance on the trustees. All right, and the trust is named as the absolute beneficiary. The trust will be the beneficiary of the life insurance. Okay, so think about that as power. The trust insures you. It pays the premium as a legitimate administrative cost, and when you transition, the trust is immediately capitalized with millions of tax-free money to keep the legacy alive. Insurance contracts are also private contracts. They bypass probate and the public courts entirely. That's some game for you. That's some game. Did y'all get that? Did y'all get that? Let me know if y'all got that. That's some game. But also, I do business insurance. It's the same way. You can file claims. I got one business insurance, it's like $2 million, another one at $8 million. So from there, the succeeding trustees can take a reasonable salary for their labor or take a lump sum and reinvest it back into the trust assets class. We utilize endowments and private wealth funds to ensure the family names become a permanent institution. So truthfully, I just gave away millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of game right now. About asset classes, how to structure the business, truthfully, the non-grantor trust, the unincorporated association, the holding company, and then the operating companies. I get funded on the operating companies. Your name is an operating company, but we don't get funded on the name, okay? That's how we get out of shit. So the elite lineages aren't out here registering their personal properties on public county sites for everyone to see. They operate behind a veil of private charities, private family foundations, private trusts, private LLCs, private corporations, unincorporated associations. They mastered these pillars. They mastered charities. They've mastered investments, how to make things look like investments and make things look like charities. They protect the bloodlines through charities. And they scale their power through private investments. Your name is your legacy. Your offspring's name is your legacy. The last name is the legacy. The last name is the brand. That's what we're looking to protect and hand down. Truthfully. And so it's time to stop playing defense and a public system designed to keep you in debt. Stop owning, start controlling. Protect your family, secure your legacy, and build your kingdom in the private sector. Truthfully, that's what you need to do. And if you're ready, tap into DK's private business circle. I already got people from the school following me on a Zoom right now. But if you don't know how to get a hold of your boy, call the private lifeline at 702-200-4900. Again, call 702-200-4900 and say you want to be part of DK's private business circle, or say you want to book a consultation today. All right? Also, before we get off, I want to teach you. I want everybody to understand why this stuff works. Making your name a business. You have to understand there's no real money. Gold and silver is real money, okay? According to the Constitution. So there's no real money. They have codes that they have to go under. A lot of people have y'all doing the consumer law, but I want people to look into GAAP, General Accepted Accounting Principles. They have to go under accounting law because they create accounts to get you under. They create contracts and then they create accounts. So at the end of the day, everything is accounting law, everything is bankruptcy law. And this is why I make my name a business, and then we move accordingly, because your name is always the private investor in the private, and you never know that because your name is controlled by the public sector, which is the part of the economy that the government controls. You got the private sector, you got the public sector. So your name is volunteered in the voluntary sector, goes to the public sector, and then reverts back to the private sector with the bigwigs, the CEOs, and a lot of people playing with your name. And that's what goes on, man. And that's what I got for y'all today. Much peace and love. And remember, prosperity is your divine birthright. Peace. They said, make that call. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Let me know if y'all have any questions. I'll answer some real quick. I didn't even smoke my blunt.
Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G. Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building, you know what I'm saying? Word up. Hey, yo, make sure y'all check out the song bars, you know what I'm saying? Word up by my man Don Kilam. You heard? A Fresco King. Yeah, boy. You know what time it is. Make sure y'all check out the bars by my boy. All right? Flavor Flav in the building. Yo, Don Kilam, keep doing your thing, G.